What's up, everyone? It's Dark Katie here, and today I will be reading Chapter 4 of the Crash Bandicoot fanfiction that I wrote. I hope you're all enjoying so far. I mean, it is interesting to me, at least. Anyways, hope you all enjoy or are enjoying so far. And here we go to Chapter 4. They all went to the living room. Some of them sat down while the others stayed standing up. Beatrix and Natalie sat beside each other. They already felt like they were very good friends. But Natalie was not someone Beatrix would want to make her best friend. Besides, she already had a best friend, and it was Ashley. The only other villains who sat down were Entropy, Aisling, Nina, and Dr. Cortex. There was no more room for the others to sit down, so they just stayed standing up. "I have to ask you a question, Beatrix," said Koala Kong. He was a mutated koala, of course. He used to not be able to talk at all, but after Cortex made him go to the doctor for his so-called problems, he eventually learned how to talk. "What do you want, Koala?" asked Beatrix. "This had better be quick, or else." Koala Kong gulped. "Who is Ashley's father?" he asked, having some trouble getting the words out. He was afraid of Beatrix now. He was afraid of her due to the fact that she was Emperor Relo's daughter, and she could kill whomever she wanted at any given time. "Big Norm, to be exact," Beatrix answered. "He and Lyra make out in front of everyone else there all the time, and it makes me sick. Sometimes I wish that Lyra didn't exist." "Big Norm?" the others shouted, except for Natalie and Nina. They had no idea who Big Norm was, but they thought it best not to ask. "What? You know him or something? It would be very surprising if you did. This is the first time I've met you guys, and he's never mentioned you before." "Probably because he thought it would be best not to say anything about us," said Pinstripe. "You know how that guy is." "Since when have you ever met him? I certainly don't remember you ever going to Kobold." "That's because we met him before you were born," said Engine. "They were idiots back then. They still are now." Beatrix gave Engine an evil stare. "Don't you dare talk about them like that," she shouted. "Wait, you said them. Does that mean you've met all of them up there?" "That is right," Cortex said. "It was 17 years ago, to be exact. We met Big Norm and all the other villains you know that are up there. We even met Lyra and Roberta." "Roberta was my mom. The only reason I know about her is because my uncle talks about her sometimes. Most of us have forgotten her name while others still remember. My uncle remembers, and he told me so that I would know as well. My father killed her after I was born. I have no idea why he would do such a thing, but that doesn't necessarily mean I hate him. He's the emperor of a planet, for crying out loud. It's good that he's doing these things. No, wait, it's evil. Ugh, never mind." Everyone in the room laughed, including Beatrix. She had not laughed so much in her life. In fact, she usually never laughed. The only times she did laugh were when she was playing tag with Ashley or when her ADHD kicked in. She was glad it had not kicked in now, but she was honestly okay with having a mental disorder, though she wasn't exactly sure why. Meanwhile in Kobold, Ashley was sitting by her dad, thinking about Beatrix. She hoped her best friend was doing okay, especially since she was on Earth. She set her head on her hands and looked off into the distance. She always did that when she had something on her mind, and her dad remembered that. He looked at her. "What's wrong, kiddo?" he asked his daughter. "Is there something on your mind?" Ashley looked at her father. His name was Big Norm, Little Norm's brother. The two brothers could now be separated and live their separate lives, but of course they still had to stay on that planet. Big Norm had been in love with Lyra ever since she joined the team 17 years ago. Lyra did not like him at first, but when she got used to him, she started to take great interest in him. They were planning to have a child, but here Ashley was. They were not planning to have a child, but here Ashley was, and here was where she was going to stay. "Dad," said Ashley, "do you think Beatrix is going to do okay being down there?" "I'm sure she'll be fine," said Big Norm. "There's no need to worry. Look, I know she's your best friend, but you don't need to be around her all the time. Know what I mean?" "I guess so, but no buts. How about you go see what your mom wants? She said she wanted me to do something earlier, but I had completely forgotten. You're more responsible than I am anyway. How about you go do it? After all, I am a lazybones." Ashley chuckled a little, still thinking about her friend. She went to Phenomena to see what her mother wanted. Phenomena was another word in Kobold, which both Norms happened to be the champions of. Lyra was sitting on the sandy ground, talking to little Norm, who did not talk at all. His big brother, Big Norm, however, did all the talking for him. But what he usually said was very rude. He was rude to everyone, except his wife and daughter, of course. "Hi, Mom," said Ashley. She had totally ignored her uncle, who waved his arms to try to get her attention. Lyra didn't seem to notice either. "Hello, Ashley," said Lyra. "How's my favorite daughter doing? I'm your only daughter, which I'm glad. I don't want any siblings." "That's funny. You used to always say how you wanted siblings, but now you've suddenly changed your mind?" "Yes, I think Beatrix is enough. She's the only other kid my age I get to be around with, so I might as well have fun with her. Know what I mean? Again, as my daughter, you make a good point. So, what do you want?" Ashley then noticed her uncle, who had given up on trying to get her attention. "Hi, Uncle," she finally said. "Anyways, Mom," she said, looking back at her mom, "Dad said you wanted him to do something, but he had forgotten what it was. He wanted me to come do it instead." "Oh, that lazy bones! I wanted him to check and see if Oxide checked on Beatrix." "That's all? Mom, she's not your daughter. I am. Why are you so worried about her?" "Oh, you know you're worried about her, too." Ashley thought for a moment. "Yeah," she said. "I guess I am." "I thought so. Anyway, go see if Oxide has checked on his niece, okay?" Ashley found Oxide still in his spaceship, though she had no idea why she was in there. Oxide heard someone enter his spaceship and turned around. "What do you want, kid?" he asked. "I'm busy." "Mom just wanted to know if you checked on Beatrix," said Ashley. "Why? Should it matter whether or not I've checked on her?" "To us, yes. Have you checked on her yet?" "I did just a couple minutes ago. She's doing completely fine." "Now can you go? I'm kind of in the middle of something." Ashley left the spaceship without saying another word. She hated being told off, especially by Beatrix's uncle. He was in the middle of something after all, but that did not mean that he had to talk to Ashley that way. Lyra was still in Phenomena, but little Norm had left. She saw her daughter approach her and stood up. She looked a little worried, like she thought something had happened to Beatrix. "So what's the news?" Lyra asked. "Good news, I hope." "All he says is that she's doing fine," said Ashley. "He checked on her a couple minutes ago." "Well, that's good. Me and your dad are going to do something together. How about you stay with the others until we return, okay?" "What are you two going to do?" "Probably make out in front of us like always." "Besides that, Ashley, just stay with the others. Will you do that for me?" "Fine, I guess I can this time." She went to join the others, although she didn't really want to. Every time her parents left, she missed them like they were already gone for a year. She didn't know why she missed them so much. It was probably because they were her parents, and she loved them with all of her heart. But she just couldn't be sure. "Where do you think they're going?" Ashley asked the others. "Probably doing you-know-what," said Entrance. He was a pink egg-like alien and sometimes nitrous oxide's assistant, just like Engine down on Earth. Entrance was a pervert in Kobold. "Entrance," said Nash, a shark-like creature. He was the champion of Baron, which was another word in Kobold. "Not in front of Ashley. You know what Lyra said." "Who cares what she says? I can say whatever I want, whenever I want. Is that clear?" "It's okay, Nash," said Ashley. "I already know what he's talking about, but I do have to agree that is pretty disgusting, Entrance." No one said anything else, and just sat down on the sandy ground they had been standing on. They did not know what to do since Lyra and Big Norm were gone. They were bored, especially Ashley. Without Beatrix, she did not know what to do. Back at Cortex Castle, all the villains were sitting in the living room, but they were not worried about Beatrix's hands anymore. They had turned back to their original color, which relieved Beatrix. She did not want her hands to be black forever, especially when she had school to go to. "That's a relief," said Beatrix, looking down at her hands over and over again. "You can say that again," said Pinstripe. Beatrix nodded, stretching her arms out. I'm tired, guys, she said. I guess I'll sleep in here, and you don't have to sleep in here, kid, said Cortex. You can sleep in Natalie, if that's what you want. Beatrix smiled and looked at Natalie. I would love to. Natalie, can you show Beatrix to your room? Aislinn asked. Yes, ma'am, said Natalie. My room is this way, Beatrix. Come with me. Natalie had used her manners as always. Both of her parents had taught her to use manners, no matter the situation. But sometimes she would still forget to use them. Natalie's room was the middle door to the left in the hallway. Natalie slowly opened her bedroom door and she walked inside, Beatrix following her. The bedroom had red wallpaper, just like Nina's, and 2 beds were in there. One was on the far right of the room and the other was on the left. The extra bed was for any guests who might come over, although this wasn't the guest bedroom. Whoa, said Beatrix. She was fascinated by the room. This is your bedroom? It's amazing. Thanks, Natalie said. She then remembered about Beatrix's mental disorder for no reason whatsoever. She couldn't quite explain why she had remembered it. It was just in her head all of a sudden. Hey, Beatrix, said Natalie. What is it? Didn't your uncle say you have ADHD? Yes, what of it? Well, you haven't really acted hyper yet. Yeah, it doesn't kick in all the time. Honestly, I like being hyper. I can do more stuff with all my energy. The problem is that I tend to pounce on people a lot when that happens. So you better watch out. Beatrix chuckled. I might just pounce on you. Natalie chuckled as well. Shouldn't we be going to bed now? She asked. Oh, yeah, Beatrix said. I had forgotten that I was even tired. Silly me. You can sleep in either bed you want. I don't mind, honestly. Well, which one is your bed? Natalie pointed to the bed on the right. That one, she said. Okay, said Beatrix. Then I'll sleep in the other one. You sure? I'm sure. Let's just go to sleep. I'm super tired right now. Natalie slipped under the covers in her bed, and Beatrix did the same in the other bed. Beatrix looked at the clock that was on the other side of the room and saw that it was already midnight. She had regretted staying up that late. She would try to go to bed earlier next time. Okay, that's end of chapter 4. I hope you all enjoyed. And this episode was kind of a weird one. But anyways, hope you enjoyed, and please give a big like and subscribe.